So I got my first period when I was 12 years old, and I remember that my introduction to womanhood was basically having to scream to my dad that I had gotten my period and receiving a very um lukewarm response, I guess we'll call it. Um he was sort of grossed out by the whole thing. My mom was very excited for me, but the most introduction I really got to the whole thing was, here's a pad, here's how to use it, mazel tov, and that was it. And I was honestly kind of disappointed because, I think I was expecting something a bit more profound. And it really affected how I viewed my menstruation as a kid, and going into, my early teen years. And then I started reading, I think I read The Red Tent in high school, if I remember correctly. And I was really intrigued by this idea of going into the sacred space and being allowed to rest and honor your moon time as sacred. And I had never seen my moon time. Well, I shouldn't say I never saw my moon time as sacred. I viewed it as sacred. I was actually really excited to get my first blood. Um, but then once I got it, my experience was very different, and it sort of made me do a 180 in terms of how I viewed my menstruation. And so then, like I said, I read The Red Tent, and particularly when I was in my later teens, early 20s, I started reading more books on honoring your menstruation. And one of my friends, Monica, gave me a ritual that she did when she would get her moon, and I adapted it to my own needs. And I found that the more I embraced my cycle, the less pain I experienced, the less frustration I felt, the less anger. Um, and I don't know, it was just this total transformation, and it was very gradual. Um, but I felt so much closer to nature, to the goddess, to the divine feminine, to my spiritual practice overall. And now, instead of dreading my period, and seeing it as a burden and seeing it as gross, I've gone full circle. I'm excited to get my period every month, but I do, feel extreme gratitude for the ability to go within and, shed what's no longer necessary each month and experience this time of real magic for me and real spiritual connectedness with nature and with everything. And in reclaiming the red tent for myself, I was able to reclaim my relationship with my blood to the point where I'm able to touch it and really experience it in a soft, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but a real conscientious manner, and not just kind of taking off a pad and throwing it away and, like pretending it's not there, really engaging with my blood on a visceral level. And so that's my story.